Hello, I'm Laura. It's Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, the day after Labor Day. And this week's theme is Labors of Love. Yesterday, my husband and I engaged in what we felt was a labor of love by attending a protest in downtown Kansas City to stand up for human freedom and democracy in the face of the recent decision of Missouri's governor to gerrymander Kansas City. And my husband created a sign that said, "Do not obey in advance." That's all it said on the sign. Do not obey in advance. Well, I didn't know what that meant. I asked him what it meant. I was ready to come in and criticize. Nobody's going to understand that. What are you talking about? You need to fix that sign. And then I realized what I was doing. I went to this place of fear and possible embarrassment to be with the man I love while he held up a sign that nobody understood. Well, as it turned out, a good number of people at the rally we attended understood that sign perfectly. So I looked it up. And it said the phrase, "do not obey in advance," is actually from a book by Timothy Snyder on tyranny. And it suggests that people voluntarily offer obedience to authoritarian power, and that's how it comes in and takes over. They are teaching that power that it can get away with most anything, and thus the power grows like a great weed in a garden that is taking over not just our communities, but our country, and throwing people into fear. But I took the idea of tyranny a little deeper, and I contemplated, what is tyranny in each of us? Perhaps it's the tyranny of our own thoughts of fear and selfishness. And what we need to do is look at those thoughts as the weeds that we need to pull out of our garden. You see, this way of thinking was inspired by one of Unity's early poets by the name of Catherine Merrill, when she wrote, "The heart is a garden where thought flowers grow. The thoughts that we think are seeds that we sow. Every kind, loving thought bears a kind, loving deed, while a thought that is selfish is just like a weed." So, perhaps it is those selfish weed thoughts that have been at the root of this great vine of fear and division that is creeping through our country, and the need for people to control in ways that, well, just frankly, aren't fair. But we can be a stand for love. We can plant the seeds of love by standing up with others when they want to have a voice in the process of what's going on in the world, by joining hands and having conversations with those with whom we don't agree, to see what their perspective is and to share our perspective with them. There are ways we can plant the seed thoughts of love and compassion and respect for each other, and help to cultivate them into a state of freedom and ease. And we're going to begin cultivating those seed thoughts right now as we take a deep breath and close our eyes. And focus on this loving idea. I plant seeds of love in the garden of my heart and pull out weeds of fear and hatred, allowing freedom to grow. I plant seeds of love in the garden of my heart and pull out weeds of fear and hatred, allowing freedom to grow. And so it is. You see, the tyranny we can obey and give in to far too easily, the first and foremost tyranny in our lives, is the tyranny of our minds and the thoughts that drag us down the trail of division and anger and hatred. But when we stand together for the freedom of all, perhaps those weeds can be removed from the garden of the whole of humanity. I'm going to close our time together today with the rest of that poem by Catherine Merrill. We must watch what we think each minute, all day, and pull out the weed thoughts and throw them away, and plant loving seed thoughts so thick in a row that there will not be room for weed thoughts to grow. Thank you for joining with me in the garden of love. Have a wonderful day.